All right, guys, we're going to look at something. I think this is going to be number 8 in our section, and it's going to be on a topic, something about electric bills. Something all of us are fairly familiar with, but we're going to review a couple of things. Number one, that we're going to 1 watt is directly related to 1 joule per second. Okay? So a watt is equal to a joule over top of a second. Now, that being said, that was what we've been talking about. So that's how much energy is being used in a given amount of time. So that's when the electric company comes out to your house and they measure things, they measure how much energy you're consuming per second. They measure it in watts. That number can get really big really fast. So they don't measure it in watts. They measure it in something called kW, or kilowatts. Now that means that there's 1,000 watts in 1 kilowatt. Okay? So they can calculate how much energy that we're dealing with. So we can calculate the amount of energy used by multiplying the number of kilowatts So my apologies here. So what we're going to do is take the number of kilowatts, or the amount of power, and we're going to multiply it by the amount of time, and that's going to give us something called kilowatt hour, which is a measure of energy. So the electric company, like I said, they're going to measure our energy, and they're measuring their energy in kilowatt hours. Okay? So our power, according to the electric company, is going to be in kilowatts. Our time is going to be in hours now. Okay? So that's a couple of things that we're going to look a little bit different. So, let's take a look at a legitimate question, a little legitimate idea. Let's say we've got a 60-watt light bulb. Okay? We turn that bad boy on, and one of you just forgets to turn it off for 3 days. So, what do we need to do? Well, the first thing we need to do is we need to take a look at this number here. So that number there is in watts. And we've already figured out the electric company doesn't like watts. So we need to divide that by 1,000. So that gives me 0.06 kilowatts. Now, we talked about the fact that the electric company doesn't do days. They do hours. So that being said, when we take a look at 3 days, that's 24, 24, 24, so that's 72 hours. Now we can take those two items together and we can multiply them together and determine the amount of energy that was used in a topic called kilowatt hours. We would just multiply those two together. Okay? Now, so when we go through this should be fairly straightforward. Now, if you want to find out how much it costs, you take your kilowatt hours and you multiply it by the cost, or the amount of money per kilowatt hour. So just keep in mind, if you got any more questions about this section, just let me know, okay?